Barakateh Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Racha Kudash. Welcome to another live lesson. Just want to say a few words on this video that Elder Apostle Tara posted up. I watched the video earlier. It's called Predictive Programming, Woe unto thee that trust in Egypt. And this is pretty much a response to that. And pretty much this is a video that Elder Malcolm put up, which I didn't get a chance to see that one. And there was an actual movie that he mentioned there, and the Elder Apostle mentioned, which is here, Dead Rising Watchtower, right? Now, I watched the movie. It's a little cheesy, you know, to be honest. It's a little cheesy. You know, I watched some of it, then I had, you know, changed it, did something else. And I came back and watched it, you know, and I kind of forced myself to watch the whole thing because, and I'm glad I did, you know, because most of the, you know, stuff you can glean off of it is really like towards the beginning of the movie and actually towards the end of the movie. You know, and, you know, in the beginning of the movie, they show you how they had a city that was contained. They call it East something, you know, just like the movie White Noise, you know, where they call it East Palestine, I believe it was. This was East something. I forget the name of the city. I actually looked it up. East Mission. And when you type that in, it says it's a fictitious place in Oregon where they had a containment center where they pretty much were containing people that, you know, the so-called zombie virus. And what they showed you in there was they had the people going in, getting, you know, some juice work. And after they got the juice work, then they started turning into these zombies. You know, so that was pretty interesting because, you know, that's mirroring what went on, you know, during this time, like 5 years later, because this was 2015. You know, now, you know, I mean, we're in 2023 now, and you're seeing a lot of people feeling the effects of that, the juice works they took going back to 2020, 2021, around that time. You know, and towards the end of the movie was pretty much another good part, was the dude, that the Allstate guy, you know, the one that deep voice, that Jake with the deep voice that does the Allstate commercials. Well, he was in it. He played like a general or, you know, a military commander. And pretty much what they were doing was he actually showed the micro C-hip in his hand, talking about they were going to put that in people, you know, to be able to pretty much monitor them. And then they even went so far as to say, well, if you get this, you know, you won't have to get jabbed every week, you know, or every so often or every day. This will have enough in there for a whole year. You know, so like on all levels, you know, they was kind of bringing out certain information, you know, that pretty much pertains to the technology that the scriptures say would be increased in these times, and also the MOTB. Now, I was watching this video that was sent to me by the brother Itazwam out of the Wisconsin camp, and I'm almost probably like 15 or 17 minutes in, and you know, these two women, they were dropping. It says the UN wants to track your every purchase with a new digital ID system, and they keep pushing this out heavy. And one word I noticed that they kept speaking about was predictive. You know, and they spoke about, you know, different things here. You know, they spoke about tracking your every move, you know, surveillance underneath the skin. You know, and everything is just pretty much leading in the same direction. You know, just leading in the direction of Revelation, you know, the 13th chapter, you know, which we know very well because we go into the actual Koine Greek, you know, and we look up the word for M-A-R-K. You know, now we, you know, like I said, I'm just going to say a few words and whatever the Spirit brings out. 2 Corinthians 2:11, you know, which everyone, you know, all you brothers that have been studying for a while know, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, because he's going to get an advantage on a lot of people. Why? Because they are blinded whether they're just blinded because they can't see, or just stubborn and hard-headed that they don't want to see it, and this is going to hit them blindsidedly. 2 Corinthians 4:3, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not. And Esau, through his technology, through his witchcraft, through his sorcery, and everything that he's done, is pretty much casting spells on these people to where they can't really figure things out. And the thing about it is, in today's day and age, we're in the information age, which there's a lot of information out there that can be gleaned and gotten by research. But the problem is that today you have so much stuff out there that you have information and you also have disinformation. And seeing that they control the Google, when you go on Google, at one time you used to be able to type in a few keywords and you get a whole bunch of information right away. Now you'll notice when you type in words in there, what they do is they'll redirect everything. And the first things that you normally see is the disinformation, and also, we check this out as a fact, but it's not a fact. It's false. So they got all kind of stuff out there, pitfalls and roadblocks, and obstacles in the way of getting to the truth. So unless you have some form of direction, which way to go and what to look for, you're going to get confused in that sea of all this different information that's out there. So it says, in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahushua, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. Right, because that will be that spiritual flashlight, so that you'll be able to see through the darkness, because the world is dark, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has given us the spiritual flashlight to be able to see, through all of this darkness, because the Lord has removed, this veil, this dark cloud that has been, pulled over the eyes of the majority of these people out here. And when we go to Ephesians 6, right, this is pretty much a spiritual battle, and the armor of the Most High is what? His word. Not a bulletproof vest, not guns, not grenades, not rocket launchers, none of that stuff. The armor of the Most High is this word. That's why it says that knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. It didn't say anything about a pistol. It didn't say anything about weapons, carnal weapons, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. But what they are is they're mighty to the pulling down of strongholds. Okay, so when we go to Ephesians 6, I'm going to get to the point in 12, but I'm going to start at 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, because when the time comes, the Lord is going to cause something to happen to where he's going to bring some type of divine intervention in the midst of all of this chaos to protect his elect, because he has a vested interest in the elect. And this is why he's going to cause some type of divine intervention. What it may be, how it's going to go down, we don't know. It could be an angel. It could be angels actually appearing and blocking stuff from the elect. It could be just certain events taking place. It could be the Lord just making the elect invisible to Esau. We don't know exactly how it's going to be, but we know that it's going to be something spectacular, and it's going to cement who the Lord is dealing with and who the Lord is not dealing with. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High. Yeah, because this Bible is a whole armor. You have, when you go to battle, when you go to actual physical war, you have all different types of weapons. You have all different types of, you have shields, you have helmets, you have swords, you have daggers, you have darts, you have bows and arrows. You have shin guards, you have all different types of armor that you put on, as, a warrior, to be able to fight in a particular battle and to be able to defend yourself. Well, the Bible is all of those things. It's the sword, it's the dagger, it's the axe, it's a shield, it's a helmet, it's all of those things. It says that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Now, the wiles of the devil are the tricks, because he's going to deceive a lot of people because of his tricks. This is why the Apostle Paul said, that I marvel that you are so soon removed from him that called you into another gospel. And also he also said that you were deceived, from the simplicity that is in Yahushai. Because this knowledge is very simple, but these people make it complicated. So the word there is methodia, which is where you get the word method. All right, method. Cunning arts, deceit, craft, trickery, right? So his methods or his wiles, which are the wiles of the devil, which is the way that these devils operate. Esau, the way that they put things together to deceive the people. Now, I want to read some of these. The NIV says, put on the full armor of the Most High so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. See, his methods, his schemes, his devices. Let's see what the NLT says. Put on all of the Most High's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against all strategies of the devil. See, because they're going to come, they're not going to pull any punches. Now, the scripture said that if it were possible, at all possible, they would deceive the very elect. So through these tricks, through these devices that they got going on, and through all of the, mechanisms, for lack of better words, that they have going on, they're going to deceive a lot of people into taking this MOTB. And that's going to be the biggest way they're going to get people to take it, is through deceit, and through desperation. Right? So now it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. So we're not wrestling flesh and blood. We're wrestling against principalities, which is a hierarchy of demons, that come to us in many different forms. They attack our bodies, they attack our minds, and this is why we have to pray and pray for each other. Pray for the body that, the Lord protect us, protect our memories, keep us safe, from all these different things that are happening, send us healings and strengths and energies that we can, be able to, continue on in this fight, because it is needed, because we're being attacked by all, from all angles. It says against powers. Then here it says against the rulers of the darkness of this world. The rulers of the darkness of this world. This is dealing with Esau, that is dealing with those spirits, those demons, these goblins and ghouls and devils and demons that they're working with, or that's working with them, to hinder us from accomplishing what we have to accomplish. Now, when we look up that word, where is it? The rulers of the darkness of this world. The word rulers is cosmokrator. Now, the word cosmokrator is the ruling organization. If you loosely translate it, cosmokrator. Cosmos is an arrangement. In this case, the arrangement of Esau, his priesthood, their witches and warlocks, and the word krateo is, to do. All right, to work. So those are the rulers of this world, of the darkness of this world. And notice it said the rulers of the darkness of this world. And when we go to the word darkness, because there are actual spirits out here used just for the purpose of, blocking people from getting the truth. You have one example in the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter, but you also have these wicked spirits out here that are doing that, such as in the parable of the sower seed, where Yahushua said that the first one, the one that fell by the wayside, was what? He heard the word, and immediately Satan came and took that was planted, took it right out. What's that? That's blocking. That's putting darkness. So the word there is skotos, which means darkness, a night darkness of darkened eyesight or blindness, metaphorically of ignorance respecting divine things and human duties. Yeah, because all men are not spiritual. The carnal man cannot receive the things of the spirit, because they are what? Spiritually discerned. And when something is spiritually discerned, you have to have the mineral of the spirit or the eyesight to be able to see it. Because if you don't have those spiritual glasses, you won't be able to see through the darkness clearly enough to be able to make your way, to follow that righteous path. It says, and the accompanying ungodliness and immorality, together with their consequent, misery in hell, which this is bullshit down here, but of ignorance respecting divine things and human duties and the accompanying ungodliness and immorality. And that's what it is, because they are blinded to the truth. They can't make a decision as to leave things that are not right to do, like Moism, and being an adulterer, adulteress, and murderers. All of those things. These are all things that are accompanying ungodliness and immorality. But they can't see. It says persons in whom darkness becomes visible and holds sway, right? Because eventually it's going to be known. You can see the demonic dark glaze that's on these people out here. You can see that even if you was to hold them down and beat them to force them to get this truth, like my man did, Roddy Piper did to my man, and they won't get it. They won't get it. So, thus the rulers of the darkness of this world, Cosmo Cortez, this is what we're fighting against. This is why it says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in what? The evil day, because that day is coming. The time of testing is coming. And when that time of testing comes, only the elect are going to be able to withstand. And having done all to stand. See? Because this is why, pretty much like the scripture says, serve the Lord thy power with all thy heart, mind, and soul. And at the end of the day, that's what it is, because you get out of it what you put into it, so to speak. We know that it's all of the Lord, the energies and the inspiration all comes from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But as we have the opportunity, we give it all we got. We give it our all. We leave it all on the line, so that when the time comes, we can be protected. Because this is the time to do this. When the kingdom is established, there's not going to be any need to go out and teach or speak or prophesy. For what? It's going to be finished. This is the time to put in that road work. Put in that work for the Lord in the streets, through the videos and all of that. This is the time right now. Not when the kingdom is established. So there's no need to hold back. You just let it all out. As much as is possible, as much as the Lord gives you, just give that. Whatever amount the Lord gave, whether it's much or little, just put it all on the line and keep on pushing it. Keep on pushing. It says, standing therefore having your loins girt about with truth. See, your loins meaning the loins of your mind, girded about with truth, because truth is what's going to prevail at the end. Truth is the strongest, out of all. It's what's going to knock down everything else, every stronghold out there. This is why you have the devil, Vocab Malone, talking about that our God doesn't exist. Which when I looked at that, I was laughing, because I said, this dude, he's reading the script. You can see him reading all that stuff he's saying. He's reading it off of something. It's almost like somebody's on the other end feeding him this information, to bring out. And he's just reading it off of like cue cards, with his big fat, gopher, and fat chipmunk, fat, squirrel jaws that he got. All that goddamn pizza he's eating, Stand therefore having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, because these things are what's gonna help block the devil's wiles. Be able to have brothers and sisters slip out of, Satan's lasso, the devil's lasso. Every time they go to swing it and try to get brothers or sisters in the trap, they can get out of it. Why? Because of the armor of the Lord. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, meaning constantly walking in it. As the other video of the Apostle Gabar did, dealing with being adorned as brides to meet Yahweh Shai. This is all a part of the adorning. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. Above all, taking the shield of faith, because faith is a shield. So we need all of our weapons, everything, which is spiritual weapons. wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, because those thoughts are constantly coming. Negative thoughts are constantly coming, and they're constantly being blocked, by the truth, knocking them down. Now sometimes they kind of get the best of you because, you just in such a rut or whatever the case may be, and you just might be angry at the moment and but for the most part, those demonic thoughts, they get cut down by the truth, by the scriptures. It says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. This is all of the armor that we need. This is all the protection that we need. The names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and its truth. The whole truth, the 100% truth. Praying always with all prayer, because the prayers are important, and supplications are important. Begging in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And this is what we're supposed to be doing. Watching, praying, hoping, hastening the day, hoping that the Lord will hurry up and do what he has to do to take these devils down. Move the left hand quicker so that the right hand can squash them. And for me that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel. Right, because at the end of the day, the Lord is what gives us the inspiration and the drive to continue to bring out the mysteries of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds. Right, because we are ambassadors for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but we're in prison, we're in bonds. But nevertheless, we still push forward, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak. Right, because at the end of the day, the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will prevail. If this work be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it. These haply you be found even to fight against the Most High. So all of these predictive programs, the predictive programming that you see in these different movies, they show you things that they're going to do, and then eventually they bring them to pass. This movie Dead Rising, Watchtower, they show you people that got the jab turn into zombies, and they also show you, towards the end that they, had a micro C hip to put into people to track them. This is all a part of what they bringing, And then this video here, you can watch also. The UN wants to track your every purchase with a new digital ID system. Why is everything pointing in this direction? Because this is the direction this is what the Apostle John saw on the island of Patmos concerning the MOTB. That's the bottom line. All right? So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.